vision or have another print disability which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Hello, this is P. Fitz, and for the next hour, I'll be reading from the June 26th through July 3rd issue of the Tribune Sentinel, covering Niagara County and Grand Island on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Former Sentinel carrier gives back to his community. Quinn Miller, a Lewiston Porter sophomore, continues his community donations. And there's a picture of Quinn Miller with Rhonda Shia, holds his contribution to Care and Share, which totaled $1,550. River Region Roundup. This article is by Madeline Doro-Biala. A Lewiston Porter High School sophomore continues to make an impact on his community. Quinn Miller started collecting cans and bottles when he was 9 years old. As a Niagara County Tribune and Sentinel carrier, he would ask clients every week to leave cans and bottles outside of their homes for him to collect. It took him a year to gather the funds to donate his first check to the Care and Share, a River Region nonprofit organization supported by Inter-Community Services. Two people motivated Quinn on his donation journey: his mother, Meg, and Angelo Sarkis. Quinn learned about his great-grandma's soup and had the idea that his mother could teach others how to make it at the food kitchen. From there, his mother introduced him to the concept of food deserts. I dropped a can of food on the floor and it kind of popped in my head, Quinn said. You said you'd turn these in for money. What if we gave that money to the people who need it? Sarkis was someone Quinn and his mother would see when they would deposit their cans and bottles. Known as the Can Man, Sarkis took the money and collected and donated to places such as Care and Share and community missions. The late Sarkis founded Deposits for Food, through which he raised over $100,000 for local nonprofits. He always joked that you, Quinn, were going to take his place when he retired, Meg Miller said. Quinn collected items and made donations to families during the COVID-19 pandemic. He provided 400 personal care items to Care and Share. Moreover, Quinn's grandmother crocheted bags and gave them to him. She made use of these bags and said, go take these, go make some money, sell them. You said you've got these fests coming up, do something with them, Quinn said. Rachel Gilbert, who owns and operates the Lewiston Artisan Farmers Market, gave Quinn a table to sell the bags his grandmother made. Gilbert also promoted the bags on her social media to spark interest. Quinn and his mother called them Shop and Share bags and donated money they made from these to Care and Share. Serving the community since 2010, Care and Share offers multiple outreach programs. A food pantry that collects non-perishables and toiletries in Ransomville. Wear and Share, a clothes closet located at the Lewiston Porter Central School District office. And on the third Saturday of every month, Care and Share hosts a mobile food pantry. It also has a partnership with Feed More Western New York. Quinn recently presented Care and Share's Rhonda Shia with a check She expressed her gratitude for donors like Quinn, who have consistently shown that there is support for the community. Quinn also works with Lewiston Redemption, who also works with Lewiston Redemption, plans on raising even more donations. When word spreads, people will be inspired, he said. I'm excited. Grand Island Garden Walk. Gardening season is here. Mark your calendar for Sunday, July 12th to check out some of the beautiful gardens across Grand Island. The 10th annual Grand Island Garden Walk returns from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., providing visitors a chance to explore a variety of garden landscapes and themes open to the public. Visit the Town Commons Gazebo at 2255 Baseline Road to pick up a garden map and go for a drive or a bike ride and check out the many unique gardens shared by hardworking gardeners. If you are an island resident and interested in sharing your garden, come join the fun as a participant. The garden walk is free for participating gardeners, and all types of sizes of gardens can participate. Applications are being accepted until June 19th. For more, email Grand Island Garden Walk at gmail.com or contact Jan 716-465-7396. This event is possible through the support of individuals and local businesses. For those interested in donating to this community tradition, checks can be made payable to Bridgeview Garden Club and mailed to 3280 Stony Point Road, Grand Island, New York, 14072. Grand Island Neighbors Foundation extends thanks to Greater Buffalo Track Club. The Grand Island Neighbors Foundation is deeply grateful to have received a generous $4,500 donation from the Greater Buffalo Track Club, made possible through proceeds of the Grand Island Half Marathon held at Beaver Island State Park on May 2nd. We extend our sincere appreciation to the Greater Buffalo Track Club, especially its president, Roger King, and the many sponsors, volunteers, and participants whose support made this successful event possible. Thanks as well to Neighbors Foundation board member Sue Nickel, whose leadership and dedication were instrumental in coordinating our involvement with this important fundraiser. Her efforts helped build a strong partnership that benefits the entire Grand Island community. As an all-volunteer organization, the Neighbors Foundation relies on the generosity of individuals and organizations such as the GBTC to fulfill our mission of neighbors helping neighbors. These funds will be used to provide confidential food assistance to Grand Island residents facing food insecurity, helping ensure the local families have access to the support they need. To learn more about the Neighbors Foundation, request assistance, or donate, please call 716-775-7998 or visit GINeighbors, basically, GINeighbors.org. Neighbors helping neighbors. Second graders explore insect life at Echo Island. The article is by Alice Gerard. Echo Island is a place where Grand Island students have the opportunity to explore nature and overcome fears, said Director Cindy Booker. Echo Island, which is owned by the Grand Island Central School District, is open 3 to 5 days a week from October to June. On April 30th, a group of second graders from Kagabine Elementary School visited Echo Island to learn about insects and other animals. They looked at insects through a microscope, which is a type of magiscope, which is a type of microscope. They made the models of bees. They heard about the life cycle of frogs, and they learned about birds. I hope that they develop an appreciation for nature, Booker said. I want them to be able to ask questions and to really appreciate things. For example, some children might be fearful of some animals. I'd really like them to overcome those fears with knowledge. For instance, understanding how bees are and the difference between bees and wasps, making sure they understand how important bees are and the importance of insects in general, because a lot of the kids are pretty squeamish about insects. However, when they take a look at them under a magiscope, all of a sudden it creates a new world for them to take a look at. Booker said Echo Island is designed to provide interactive learning for students as well as for parents who function as chaperones. It makes it more meaningful, Booker explained. I think that every person actually benefits from a hands-on learning experience, both young and old. I make it my mission to try and make it as engaging as possible. If we make a little model representations of what they actually see, it's going to stay more permanently with them. Watching students experience nature at Echo Island is something Booker said she lives for. She said she likes to see the joy in their faces when they ask questions and when they get excited about coming here, especially when you hear them saying, not just to me, but to themselves, "This is the best trip ever," or "I'm having a great day." They charge me up in that way. I guess you could say I live for that. I also get a lot of those kinds of comments from parents too. I never knew that before, they say. Parents and the children are the child's first teachers, so if they can get excited about seeing things that their children are doing, that's going to be passed on to the entire family. But I also love the opportunity for kids as well as parents to teach me a few things too. I'm not done learning. Welsh offers thanks to village leaders and family. Guest editorial by Village of Lewiston Mayor Ann Welsh. As I conclude my second term as mayor, I want to take a moment to express my sincere gratitude to the many people who have supported me throughout this incredible journey. First and foremost, I want to thank my family. Public service requires countless hours, sacrifices, and unwavering support from those closest to you. I could not have served our community without their encouragement, patience, and love. I also want to thank the residents who placed their trust in me, voted for me, and supported me over the years. Serving this village has been one of the greatest honors of my life. After 43 years of service to the village in various capacities, I leave with a heart full of gratitude and pride. All we have accomplished together. While election results did not go our way this time, I am incredibly proud of what we achieved during my tenure. Together we work to make our community stronger, improve services, support local businesses, and enhance the quality of life for our residents. These accomplishments belong to all of us. A special thank you goes to my Deputy Mayor, Vic H., whose guidance, friendship, and support over the years have meant more than words can express. I am also grateful to my running mate, Rob Nichols, for his dedication, hard work, and commitment to our community throughout this campaign. Over the years, I had the privilege of working alongside 4 mayors, learning invaluable lessons from each. and gaining a deeper appreciation for the importance of public service. I've also had the opportunity to collaborate with countless government officials, community organizations, business leaders, and residents. Through those relationships, I have developed many lasting friendships that I will always cherish. To our village staff, thank you for your dedication and professionalism and friendship. To the Department of Public Works, the Recreation Department, Police Department, boards and commissioners, and all village employees, your hard work often happens behind the scenes, but it is essential to the success of our community. I am deeply grateful for everything you do. I would also like to thank my fellow board members, both past and present. While we did not always agree on every issue, we shared a common goal of serving the best interests of our residents and moving our village forward. Finally, to our residents and business owners, thank you for your investment in our community, your ideas, your support, and your belief in our future. It has been a privilege to serve you. As I step away from this role, I do so with tremendous pride and gratitude and optimism for what lies ahead for our village. Public service has been an important part of my life, and I'll always be thankful for the opportunity I've had to serve community that I love. Thank you for allowing me the honor of being your mayor. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Tribune Sentinel covering the Niagara County and Grand Island on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Attention, Niagara Falls High School class of 1964. Niagara Falls High School the class is having an 80th birthday party and reunion. It will be held from 4 to 8 p.m. Thursday, September 24th at the LaSalle Yacht Club on Buffalo Avenue with dinner, mingling, and music. On Friday, there will be a tour of the old NFHS building on Portage Road and Pine Avenue from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Organizers said, we've had many reunions through the years, but since all the class members will be or are turning 80 this year, this reunion will be something very special. Dinner, dancing with a partner, wheelchair walker, or cane. All modes of assistance are welcome. Listening and singing along with the songs of the 50s and 60s, reminiscing about a good old days, favorite teachers and classes, and then having a birthday cake to signify this very special celebration will make it a fun time for all. Committee members have been earnestly trying to contact classmates in surrounding areas and those out of town. If you are an NFHS 1964 grad, haven't received an email or a call from someone, or know a classmate who may like to attend, please have them contact Jennifer Vitello by email at javern46@yahoo.com, or 716-799-9337. Looking forward to a fun-filled reunion. Lumberjacks excels at being deliciously different by Joshua Maloney. Lumberjacks Waterfront Patio Grill is just different. The North Tonawanda restaurant is different in that its food quality and ambiance are award-winning. It's multi-time winner of NFP's Savory Summer Food Contest, having taken titles for Western New York's Best Summer Dining Spot, Western New York's Best Hamburger, and Western New York's Best Fries. Lumberjacks, is different in that it tries things, whether that be events for pet lovers, or we did try line dancing only once on the outside patio last summer. Owner-operator Carol Talachette said it didn't get many people, but it was fun. In fact, I partook. It was a whole lot of fun. We're open to everything and anything, she said. That includes an all-day chicken wing offering, debuted Tuesday, and may return again this summer. Patrons could purchase 45-cent wings in any quantity and have them flavored with plain, mild, medium, hot, sweet chili, barbecue, or garlic parm, with side sauces including blue cheese, ranch, sweet chili, barbecue, sweet and sour, and garlic parm. Lumberjacks is also different because Talachette's goal continues to be preparing staffers to leave, to have seasonal workers so well trained that they can seamlessly transition into their post-education careers. Of course, there is a caveat with that last bullet point, and it's that people don't want to leave. Roughly 80% of the 2025 team returned this season. I've been here for 9 years. It's my summer home, manager Maddie McKee said. She joined in high school. I was 16 when I started. I started as a kitchen prep, and then I learned the counter. And then at a very busy shift, I had to learn how to cook and fill in for somebody. Then when I was old enough, I became a manager, she said. Now, definitely one of the biggest things is making sure the customer is happy. And one of the first things we tell everybody is when they are delivering food, make sure you ask if there's anything else they need, or if they can get anything else, or if everything looks right. McKee said, definitely making sure the tickets match before the food leaves the kitchen before we deliver the wrong item. Talachette noted McKee also does scheduling and social media and is very creative, extremely. Learning every position here has been super helpful, McKee said. Being able to pop in whenever needed and be able to help people training that are new, knowing a little bit of everything. We make it fun place to be, Talachette said. We have an employee night just before everybody leaves in August. We play games. We play life-size Jenga. We do pizza and wings and something out of the ordinary that we don't carry. It's a good camaraderie, Talachette said. Lumberjacks is open from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily at 1000 River Road. Again, this season, patrons can expect to find an all-star selection of local summer favorites: Wardinski's hot dogs, Minio and Sapio Italian sausage, on Costanzo's bakery rolls, and Anderson's ice cream served from a vintage cooler. Plus, Lumberjacks offers music from 4 to 7 p.m. each Wednesday and Sunday. Upcoming performers include Slim Chance, that was June 28th, Retrophonics on July 4th, and Brother James and Friends on July 12th. Oh, and don't forget, we're right on the water, Talachette said. Lumberjacks is a unique restaurant marina combo with a deck that cantilevers right on the river and seats 160 people. For more information on Lumberjacks, visit Lumberjacks on Facebook. Talachette is working with the Erie Niagara Sunrise Exchange Club on the 2026 Healing Field to be presented September 11th through 13th at Gretwick Riverside Park, 1300 River Road, North Tonawanda. The display is meant to remember the lives of those lost on 9/11. The community is invited to purchase 3 feet by 5 feet flags in support of this cause. You can visit Erie Niagara Exchange Club.com for more information. Center Street takes center stage in Great American Media's Rewinding Christmas. Mario Lopez fans outside, there's a picture of Mario Lopez fans cheer outside the Brickyard Pub and Barbecue on Center Street. There's a picture of Grace Frossalone with Rewinding Christmas star Mario Lopez. The Frossalone family and the Apple Granny restaurant team welcomed extras to their Center Street restaurant. Taylor Kalupa and Mario Lopez on the Center Street set of Rewinding Christmas. There are more photos available at wnypapers.com. Behind the screens with Joshua Maloney. Last Thursday night, Rewinding Christmas leads Mario Lopez and Taylor Kalupa were joined on set by another star, Center Street. Lewiston's main thoroughfare served as the backdrop for a key walk and talk between the actors leading the Great American Media Holiday feature. Lopez and Kalupa in character strolled down the Center Street and past Apple Granny Restaurant, Second Story Thrift Boutique, Carmelo's Coat of Arms, Mastintuno, Allstate, and the Village Bake Shop. Crews worked in front of Ashley's Lingerie and Swimwear. Down the street, merchants including Deal Realty, Inspirations on Canvas, and Viva Nostalgia were decorated for Christmas. Across the street, people watched the actors film scenes from in front of the Gallo Coal Fire Kitchen and the Brickyard Pub and Barbecue. In fact, the Brickyard crowd was loudly cheering in between takes. Action, cut, Mario, Mario, Mario. Production crew members said they hadn't encountered anything like that before as they laughed and encouraged the onlookers. When filming wrapped up for the evening, Lopez walked over to the Brickyard where he took one drink with fans, posed for a few photos, and received a brand new hoodie. Lopez and crew later had dinner at Casa Antica Italian restaurant. Earlier in the day, filming took place just off of Center Street inside the Point Church on Plain Street. During the week, movie scenes were shot at 155 South 5th and 401 Plain Street. Upward Niagara Chamber of Commerce President Amanda Hazley said it was incredible to see Center Street filled with both local residents and visitors eager to watch the filming. The excitement throughout the village was contagious, and it was especially rewarding to see our local businesses not only featured in the movie, but actively involved in the production. Having Mario Lopez and Tony Danza visit our businesses and share their experiences on social media created a level of exposure that simply can't be purchased. We're especially grateful that the production team chose to keep the village name as Lewiston and preserve the names of our local businesses, allowing audiences to experience the authentic character of our community. I truly believe that when the movie is released, viewers from across the country will be inspired to visit Lewiston and see these locations for themselves. With networks like Great American Family and Hallmark Media continuing to invest in productions throughout Western New York, this project highlights the tremendous opportunities film and television can bring to our region. We look forward to seeing how this exposure helps Lewiston as a destination and opens the door for future productions. Rewinding Christmas is set to premiere during the upcoming holiday season as part of Great American Christmas. There's talk of another project could be set in the river region. Last July, Deadline reported Great American Media signed on to create more than 20 films and original series at Great Point Studios, Buffalo, over a 2-year period. That pact reunites venue head Robert Hawley with GAM President Bill Abbott, the two men who were instrumental in starting the Hallmark Channel. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Tribune Sentinel covering Niagara County and Grand Island on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Fort Niagara marks America 250 with a grand musket and cannon salute. At noon on Saturday, July 4th, 500 reenactors will gather atop the walls of Old Fort Niagara to perform a grand musket and cannon salute in honor of America's 250th anniversary. The salute will be part of Old Fort Niagara's 46th annual French and Indian War encampment, the historic site's largest living history event of the year. Known as the Siege of 1759, the 3-day event recreates this historic siege of Fort Niagara that took place in 1759. During the 19-day siege, British forces captured the fort from the French, ushering in a new era in American history. At the conclusion of the French and Indian War, Britain gained vast new territories, but incurred huge debts and faced imperial challenges that led directly to the American Revolution. The event begins on Friday, July 3rd, with a display of 18th century military pageantry as British and French forces parade with their regimental colors. This will be followed by a firing of 5 large cannons in the 1756 Dauphin Battery. Fifes and drums then take the stage as reenactors and visitors alike march into the fort. Once inside, visitors will encounter 22 acres of period artisans and merchants, many of them demonstrating skills of the era. At 2 p.m., British, French, and Native American forces will face off in a battle reenactment that demonstrates military tactics of the 18th century. Friday's program concludes with an artillery firing demonstration at 4 p.m. On Saturday, July 4th, programs begin at 9:30 a.m. with the firing of the Dauphin Battery, followed by a fife and drum concert. At noon, reenactors will mount the fort's extensive walls to perform a grand feu de joie, firing of joy, in celebration of America's 250th. The feu de joie was an 18th century ceremony involving rolling musket and cannon fire. Firings were often performed to mark a great military victory or alliance. In 2026, Old Fort Niagara's Feu de Joie will mark this nation's 250th birthday at Western New York's only Revolutionary War historic site. The siege continues at 2 p.m. with a battle reenactment, followed at 4 p.m. by an artillery demonstration. Sunday's program will feature a reenactment of the Battle of La Belle Famille, an action that was fought on July 24th, 1759. In that fight, French and Native American forces attempted to break through to relieve the siege of the fort, but were stopped just a mile south of the fort in a brief but bloody battle. The final battle of the event will take place at 2:30 p.m. as French forces are forced to cease resistance and give up the fort. Surrender ceremonies will follow at 3 p.m. During the weekend's events, visitors will learn about British and French efforts to secure Native American alliances through 2 councils that feature dialogue in the original languages. Old Fort Niagara will also present 2 harpsichord recitals in the 1726 French castle. On Friday and Saturday at 3 p.m., guided tours recounting the events of 1759 siege will take place throughout the event. Niagara Falls State Park unveils 2 immersive exhibits. Voices of the Falls and Above the Roar provide new ways to experience the park. New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, along with licensed concession partner Delaware North, recently celebrated opening of 2 new attractions in the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Welcome Center at Niagara Falls State Park. Voices of the Falls and Above the Roar invite visitors to experience Niagara Falls through diverse perspectives and cutting-edge technology. Voices of the Falls, the $4.4 million feature, is a permanent interactive exhibit that explores the past, present, and future of Niagara Falls. The park, as well as the surrounding community, and voices of those who have been part of its history, featuring first-person perspectives, historical narratives, artifacts, hands-on, interactive, and video presentations of nearly 5,000 square foot exhibit highlights the cultural, environmental, and personal connections that have formed the nation's oldest state park. Stories from the indigenous who first inhabited the land, to the upper Underground Railroad, to the tragedy of Love Canal, as well as the flora and fauna of the park, are included and will provide visitors with a richer view of the park beyond the waterfall. Additional elements of the project include outdoor models, a lenticular mural, and signage. The material covered throughout the exhibit is consistent with principles of New York State's parks, our whole history initiative. We are thrilled to open Voices of the Falls and Above the Roar. Together, these exhibits enrich the visitor experience and create new year-round opportunities for learning, exploration, and discovery, New York State Parks Commissioner Kathy Moser said. I'm especially grateful for our partnership with the Seneca Nation, Tuscarora Nation, and Underground Railroad collaboration, whose contributions helped bring these stories to life. By sharing a more complete and inclusive history, these exhibits ensure that visitors gain a deeper understanding of the people, cultures, and events that shape New York and our nation. Seneca Nation President J.C. Seneca spoke of the importance of preserving culture, heritage, and language by sharing stories with others from generation to generation. We appreciate the opportunity for us to be here, to be able to educate, and for people to learn about who we are. Who better to tell our story than ourselves, J.C. Seneca said. It's an important story, and there's a lot of history here. Voices of the Falls was designed by Haley Sharp Design of UK and Toronto, and fabricated by Buffalo's Hadley Exhibits. Above the Roar is a fully immersive, multi-sensory virtual reality experience that takes participants on a thrilling journey around the most powerful waterfall in North America. Through exclusive aerial footage, Through exclusive aerial footage, motion-enhanced seating, and immersive sound, participants will soar along the U.S. side of the Niagara River, just above the rapids, and then over the American Bridal Veil, the Horseshoe Falls, before gliding through the gorge and plunging into the depths below. There, under the water, they will encounter 7 species of fish that are native to the river before returning to the brink of the American Falls and ending back inside the Welcome Center. Above the Roar offers a completely new way for people to experience Niagara Falls as part of their visit to the park, said Derek Zwicky, Chief Operating Officer of Delaware North. We are proud of our partnership with New York State Parks and thrilled that Delaware North could bring this attraction to life as another way for visitors from around the globe to experience Niagara Falls State Park. Delaware North worked with MDSX, an award-winning experiential design and media production firm. Working with MDSX, we used cutting-edge virtual reality content to create a perspective that has been accessible to the public, has never been accessible to the public. A cinematic, awe-inspiring journey that is as emotional as it is exhilarating, Zwicky said. Every moment is designed to bring guests closer to the scale, power, and beauty of Niagara Falls in a way that, that feels unforgettable. The Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Welcome Center at Niagara Falls State Park. These installations complete the 28,000 square foot visitor center that was opened by Governor Kathy Hochul in December of 2023. The Welcome Center features glass walls and a low roof to maximize views and connections to the falls. It includes new ticketing and information desks, new concession spaces, restrooms, and associated support spaces, a rooftop PV array, a special patterned glass to prevent bird impacts, green roof elements, and a separate restroom building. Enhanced site amenities include new accessible paths, native plantings, and wayfinding elements. The Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Welcome Center at Niagara Falls State Park complements the $150 million revitalization of Niagara Falls State Park landscape, launched in 2011. The Niagara Falls State Park Landscape Revitalization Plan was a multi-year commitment to renew the park in a manner that better reflects noted park designer Frederick Law Olmsted's vision for the landscape. The plan renovated the park's major viewing areas, including Luna Island, Prospect Point, Lower Grove, the Three Sisters Islands, North Shore Line Trail, Luna Bridge, the Terrapin Point, and new pedestrian walkways, enhanced landscaping, new benches, light posts, and railings. The interactive Cave of the Winds Pavilion, which highlights the natural and cultural history of Niagara Falls, opened in 2017. Removal of the Niagara Scenic Parkway, formerly Robert Moses Parkway, in the city of Niagara Falls provided unprecedented access to the Niagara Gorge by connecting the city to the waterfront for the first time in a generation. It was the largest expansion of Niagara Falls State Park since its creation. Niagara Falls State Park is a state and national treasure created in 1885. It is the oldest state park in the nation, attracting over 9 million visitors annually. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Tribune Sentinel covering Niagara County and Grand Island on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. In a related article to the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Visitor Center, local leaders experience the roar. At a press event June 18th at the Ralph C. Wilson Welcome Center, Niagara Falls State Park, guests including New York State Assemblyman Angelo Morinello and City of Niagara Falls Mayor Robert Restano were among the first people to experience the new Above the Roar virtual reality attraction. Morinello described the ride as phenomenal. It really gives you a perspective that you would never, ever get by just being on land, he said. Morinello noted one of the more incredible moments was when they went under and the fish came at you and you could see the species of fish and the rock formations. It gives you a really true insight into what the river and gorge and the falls is. Restano called Above the Roar spectacular. It's amazing, he said. It adds a whole new dimension to coming down here to visit. You know, you can stand by the edge of the falls and be impressed with it all. But now, all of a sudden, you're in it, and it's just spectacular. They've done a fabulous job. I think everybody who takes advantage of this attraction will walk away incredibly impressed and just in awe. Set in a dark, laser-lit room with about a dozen egg-shaped chairs, Above the Roar is a compelling experience at Niagara Falls State Park and Delaware North's Park and Resorts Chief Operating Officer Derek Zwicky. The Buffalo-based global hospitality leader manages the new 4-minute ride. Zwicky said it's a completely new way for people to experience Niagara Falls when they visit the park. It's fully immersive, multi-sensory virtual reality experience that takes participants on a thrilling journey around the most powerful waterfall in North America and its natural elements. He noted Above the Roar uses exclusive aerial drone footage, motion-enhanced seating, and immersive sound. The drone footage is really something special, and it really brings this whole thing to life. Participants will soar along the U.S. side of the Niagara River just above the rapids, then over the American Bridal Veil and Horseshoe Falls before gliding through the gorge. We just reviewed all of that. New York State's Parks Regional Director Mark Mistretta said, State Parks is very good at many things, being the best steward we can for this natural wonder we have out here, but we're not so good with food and providing great, interesting retail and exciting attractions. That's why we're lucky to partner with Delaware North here at Niagara Falls for those things that we just don't do as well. They have delivered. He called the attraction an amazing experience. Zwicky said, we are proud of how we work with New York State Parks to welcome millions of guests as they are experiencing the falls and tell the Niagara story. Lewiston Church salutes America 250. First Presbyterian Church of Lewiston, recognized as the oldest and most historic church in the village, will salute America's 250th birthday by hosting a community celebration open to the public. Lift Every Voice and Sing will be held at the church at 11:15 a.m. on Sunday, July 5th. The service will feature worship and live music. A free community coffee hour will follow. The Reverend Carly Beard stated, "It is only fitting that historic Lewiston Presbyterian Church, with its rich history of providing worship and community fellowship, is planning the special celebration of our nation's 250th birthday. All are welcome to join this joyful service. The church is located at 505 Cayuga Street and is handicap accessible. Childcare will be available for children ages 4 and under. Parking is available on the street or in a large lot behind the building. The church and events are open to all." Lewiston Night at Art Park. Femmes of Rock founder Nina DiGregorio returns home to kickstart outdoor concert slate. By an article by Joshua Maloney. There's a picture of Nina and her band, Femmes of Rock, Nina DiGregorio, Christina Rose, and Sarah Chafee. Though Femmes of Rock founder, singer, leader, string leader Nina DiGregorio was nice enough to sit down for a full interview, a preview of her July 10th park concert would simply be summed up by this statement: "You won't believe your ears." Nina has taken some of the most iconic rock songs of all time, including "Comfortably Numb" by Pink Floyd, "Do You Feel Like We Do" by Peter Frampton, "Stairway to Heaven," Led Zeppelin, "Eruption" by Van Halen, "You Shook Me All Night Long," AC/DC, and "Limelight" by Rush, and reconfigured them for violin. But that's only half of it. When Nina D and the Femmes of Rock hit the stage in Lewiston, it's not going to be like your grandmother's Beethoven, she said. You're going to see electric strings with singing with us, DiGregorio, Christina Rose, and Sarah Chafee, singing the vocals with a rock band behind us, with a multimedia experience, with video and lights, and it's going to be a full-on rock show with arrangements in a very unique way, like you never heard them of your favorite classic rock bands. As an added bonus, we actually have a few of us who are or used to be local to the area, because sometimes those are the best musicians you can find. Our guitar player still lives in Niagara Falls. His name's Jason Neubauer, and he's one of the most absolutely virtuosic, badass guitar players I have ever performed with, and I've played with a lot of famous people over the years. So he's with us, not because he's local, but because he is the best person for the job. I mean, end of story. He's that talented musically. Our bass player, Michael Kelly, went to Kenmore West. He now lives in Philadelphia area, where he's a professor of music, but he's originally from the Buffalo area. We also have some guest artists, our opening band, the Fabulous USA Band, and the Secondhand News from the Buffalo, Niagara Falls area. And also Michael Licata, who's going to guest on drums with us, also graduated from Kenmore East. So a lot of us are semi-local. Our drummer, Jeff Tortora, is from Syracuse originally, so cousins in snow. I just feel like they're going to see a hometown group of people mostly, but not because they're from the hometown, because they are really that great of musicians. My band is amazing. Most of them currently play in Blue Man Group Las Vegas with us, but we travel all over the place. For Nina D, the inspiration for what she uniquely does first came when watching her father admire another world-class musician. It all kind of started when I was playing violin at Newport, she said. I think it was probably the middle school orchestra at the time. And I saved up my money and bought my first electric violin on eBay. My dad had an old guitar amplifier sitting around at home. So one day my dad was watching Jimi Hendrix do the Star Spangled Banner at Woodstock. And I was like, I want to try and do that, only I don't play guitar, I play violin. So I plugged in my violin into his amp. I messed with all the effects and the patches and the distortion and stuff like that. And when my parents came home from work the next day, I was like, hey, look what I could do. I play like Jimi Hendrix, and that was kind of the beginning of the whole thing. And from there, I learned more guitar solos and more of my favorite players until I could play a lot of them, until I could play David Gilmour and Jimmy Page and Eddie Van Halen and Alex Lifeson and numerous guitar players. And so that's what I really loved. I loved the classic rock music, but I played with the violin, so that was really the only thing I knew how to do, was what I'm doing. And then, of course, as I got older, I started to work in the industry, and I was hired as a violinist, and I would tour with people and perform on the Vegas Strip and shows. But I'm just a violinist. The violin plays in the orchestra, the kind that back people up. Sometimes you take a solo, but it really back up for a singer. I decided that I wanted the strings to be out of the pit orchestra and front of the show. That's why I created Femmes of Rock Show, so that the string players were actually the stars of the show, not just the decoration. Nina D and the Femmes have received reviews from the likes of Frampton, Five Finger Death Punch, Michael Anthony, and Danny Serafin. Together, they have shared the stage with Kansas, Bad Company, Ted Nugent, Cheap Trick, Lynyrd Skynyrd, while she has played with Stevie Wonder, David Foster, The Killers, Beyonce, and Deep Purple. Though Nina has performed around the world, the July 10th concert holds special meaning for her. I never played at Art Park, she said. When we've come back to the area, we've played at the Riviera, played at UB, we've played the Bears Den, but I never played Art Park. Even though I graduated on the stage, I walked across it, graduated from Newport. I've been to shows when I've come home to visit my family in the summer, but never played here. So it's very exciting for the first time. You've been listening to a reading of articles and features from the June 26th to July 3rd issue of the Tribune Sentinel, covering Niagara County and Grand Island. We read from the Tribune Sentinel every Saturday at 4 p.m. Your reader has been P. Fitz. Thank you for listening.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have the Lockport Union Sun and Journal. Following that at 6 o'clock is the Jamestown Post Journal. And at 7 o'clock, we have the Niagara Falls Review. Stay with us for these readings and more. If you or people you know shop at any of the Dash's supermarkets, please save Dash's register tapes for radio reading. Our agency receives $2 for every $100 in Dash's register tapes. Radio reading has raised thousands of dollars so far. Anyone can drop off their Dash's tapes to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service at 1199 Harlem Road, Cheektowaga, between William and Clinton Streets. Or Dash's tapes can be mailed to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service at 1199 Harlem Road, Cheektowaga, New York, 14227. Any questions on Dash's tapes for radio reading? Call us at 716-821-5555, and thanks for caring. The following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability which